Hey everybody, it's Steph from the High Moving Podcast. Oh boy, the men have tried to support the WNBA, right? I mean, the season barely just got started, and I think we are all done with it to the point where the men who have tried to support the sport on mainstream media, they're getting fed up, right? And you would think that the women in the media would be more protective of the WNBA and what Caitlin Clark is doing, but no, right? So here comes Monica McNutt. All right, it's the lady in the middle. She is the feminist WNBA basketball, expert, right? She has the expertise, all things WNBA, right? But it feels like she's compromised in a lot of ways. Okay, Shannon Sharp and Stpehen Smith wanted to rip their hair out. I mean, it seemed like, if this conversation went a little bit longer, Stpehen Smith, we already know how far back his hairline is. He would have been bald if this had kept going, right? I mean, it's gotten that bad, man. I'm going to play a clip. I'm going to play a couple clips, all right? The first clip I'm going to play, the audio. I'm not going to play the video because I don't want to have any copyright issues, but it's Monica's initial statement with Caitlin Clark. And then after the next clip, I'm going to play what she said towards the end to Stpehen Smith, and we're gonna address each one, man. This is absolutely delusional, but we'll get into it, man. So hang tight.
Reaction to the flagrant foul on Clark, and then Carter doubling down after with the tweet.
So I think, Molly, as this thing has continued to go and we're all watching this journey, my issue has become the blanket statements when it comes to the league. This play by Kennedy Carter is not a basketball play. It's not something that we should condone, but this is also part of Kennedy Carter's sort of reputation, right? She's an incredible basketball player, guard, handle, score, all of that. But she's had to navigate moments that she didn't display the best sportsmanship, right? And so we are not condoning a play that has nothing to do with basketball. But I do want folks to continue to keep watching because the league is physical. And there have been moments like this throughout the history of the league when it comes to rookies. Now, I know that the attention is heightened because it is Caitlin Clark, but if you run the tape back a little bit, there's an elbow prior to that, which I think set Kennedy Carter off. Again, not condoning it, but y'all know how it is in sports. You want your opportunities to have get-backs. And so I did not like the tweet, but again, we can't act like the premise of the league is not competition. Kennedy Carter, maybe she falls into that category of folks that are hating on Caitlin Clark that everybody's talking about. But Kennedy Carter does not represent the league at large. And that is where this conversation is really frustrating me because
all right.
Who talks about the WNBA? Who talks about women? Who talk about women's sports more than First Take?
Stephen A., respectfully, with your platform, you could have been doing this 3 years ago if you wanted to.
Wow.
All right, we got to go. You guys.
So did you say
you're my guy, but
who does more than
Stephen
us?
A., I'm talking to you.
Wow.
Don't do that. I'm talking to you about the power that you have.
Okay.
I'm talking to you.
Okay.
All right, let's.
You're my guy, but I'm talking to you.
Guys, if ESPN isn't failing already, this will definitely stuff like this will fail the platform, right? I mean, Stphen Smith brags about the First Take numbers, but bringing on guests like Monica McNutt talking like this is absolutely wild, and will hurt the quality of the show if the show's quality isn't already tainted in itself with Stphen Smith, right? For Monica McNutt, I mean, to sit up there and say that her whole point, in a fuller clip, she was saying, well, we're leading the show with this, right? This is good. The physicality is good. Knowing that Kennedy Carter is a borderline dirty player, saying she plays on the edge, pretty much almost like basically she didn't excuse her, but she basically did, right? Was like, well, I don't want the actions of Kennedy Carter represent the league. Well, hard to tell when players were complaining about the Caitlin Clark treatment and everything, the attention, all this stuff, the charter flight this and the Nike deal that, it seemed like it's bled onto the court, right? So major L on Monica McNutt. I mean, that's what happens when you bring these liberal talking heads, these strong feminist talking heads, and not have a logical perspective of what is actually going on. And you have two men defending Caitlin Clark, trying to defend the WNBA. You ask for men to talk about it. You want more attention. Okay, well, this comes with it, right? We're going to talk about the good and we're going to talk about the ugly of your failing sport, right? So Monica McNutt seeing compromise, you know, she's trying to protect the old guards of the WNBA as opposed to really defending Caitlin Clark, right? She's like, well, it's not the whole league, you know, we're not going to baby Caitlin Clark. Nobody's talking about babying Caitlin Clark. When did getting flagrant fouls calling it out become babying Caitlin Clark, right? You know, that's the delusion. You see, once again, we have a clear test case scenario of women wanting equality and getting the same treatment, but then they don't like it. Right. And then you bring on this woman who thinks she's the WNBA expert. And this is her opinion. Right. And then the clip later of pretty much getting on Stephen A. Smith about saying, oh, well, you should have talked about this years ago with your platform and how powerful you are. Oh, God. So now showing how you really feel. Right. You know, now is your turn to take a shot at Stephen A. Smith when he and Shannon Sharp are defending the WNBA and defending Caitlin Clark, right? And you don't like their points that they're bringing up. Then this is absolutely absurd, man. You know what? This was a horrible segment for ESPN and embarrassing for the WNBA. If you're gonna have, you know, female commentators like Monica McNutt talk like this about the WNBA, then the league is already, it's already failing. This will fail even more. And no, the men will check out. If this is how it's going to be, then we're not going to be watching this. Then, you know, you want to run your Bush League, then run it that way. You know, we're done. We're checking out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she's thinking that, oh, well, because we're leading with this subject, like people are going to stick around. No, the men are watching because we seen Caitlin Clark's game. We acknowledge it like, okay, cool, a lot of buzz. We're going to watch it. So now you have the eyeballs, right, on a silver platter, and they're crapping all over it, right? And no, the WNBA was not popping 3 years ago. There was no juice in that league unless you're a hardcore WNBA fan. Man, this whole segment was trash, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about what Monica McNutt said. You know, again, feminine, liberal talking heads, talking sports. You know, she's trying to defend the WNBA as a whole, as opposed to defending Caitlin Clark and those actions that were taken against her, you know, with kid gloves on Chennedy Carter. Now, you know, in the men's sport, we go hard. What's right is right. You know, if it's good, we go hard at it. If it's bad, we go hard at that too, right? I mean, you want equal treatment. Well, this is what equality looks like. And Monica McNutt is not in a position to accept that. And accept the reality in the landscape of sports, and to think that we're gonna keep sticking around to watch it, she's absolutely delusional, right? That's the thinking. When you give women power, you start to give them you start to give this sport some respect. You start to give them some leverage in it. They screw it up, right? And in the female commentators, they're screwing it up as well too, man. This is crazy. Anyways, y'all let me know what y'all think. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe. I'm out.